it was the whole like, being a successful artist and then like being chewed up and like spit out by like the major label system. That's just, I know that we hear this story like over and over all the time, but it just is what it is. And, like I tell people, it's like success has many parents and failure is an orphan. Because when you're hot, people love you, everybody's calling you. And when you're not, your phone's not ringing, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of felt like. And, I fell into this, a little bit of depression and drinking.
Really?
Yeah. I would have to be drunk to fall asleep.
Wow.
It got to that point.
Which is crazy because you're like, I see you as such a sober person.
Yeah. Because I don't drink. I'm now 2 years sober. I don't drink. I don't touch alcohol. So
good for you, man.
Yeah, it was, that was a weird time for me. And, going and seeing a therapist and talking to him was like one of the best things I ever did as well. And kind of just grounding myself and like finding myself again. That's why it was really hard to be like, am I really going to jump back into this? Like, because I know what comes with it. But a couple of things. One person was like, first of all, Shawn, you have nothing to prove to anybody. So if you're going to do it, you do it because you want to do it. And you do it because you love it. That's one. And two was like, if I do it, I'm fucking doing it my way. I had stepped away from all of this. I wanted nothing to do with the music business. I was totally fine and okay being on my couch, doing nothing, just being a dad, running a dance competition and not being in the entertainment music business. Like I was done. And then, I talk about it a lot, but I really owe a lot to this moment. The OVO thing happens with Drake and he literally pulls me aside after the show. I wish I had this on, it's one of those moments where I'm like, I wish somebody caught it on video because they're not going to believe me when I tell the story. But literally I come off stage and he grabs me, comes through the door and grabs me and pulls me aside. And he's like, come here, dude, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, what? And he's like, bro, you're different, eh? He's like, you are different. He's like, those people, they fucking love you. Why? Like, what's happened? Like, what are you doing? And I was straight up, I'm like, yo, dude, like, I just lost the love and the passion. Like the business part of it, what the things that happened to me in 2015, 2014 sucked the love and like the life out of me. Everything I loved about music. And he's like, yeah, I get that. He's like, we're all going to go through that at some point. I'm going to go through that. But he's like, trust me when I tell you, those people need you. You need to make music again, bro.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I was like, holy shit, I have one of the biggest artists in the world, probably the biggest artist in the world. Telling me that I need to make music. And it's funny because when I got to the show and I saw him, I went up to him and I said, thank you for inviting me to this. And he's like, Shawn Desman, thank me. Thank you. I was listening to you when I was growing up.
Amazing.
Right? So I'm like, that's so crazy. And so when I made the decision to come back into this, and this was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to do in my life. I'd worked with two previous managers. One from about 2002 to 2010, who disappeared off the face of the earth. I haven't seen him since 2010. I was on tour with the Backstreet Boys. Him and my tour manager had like this little scuffle because my tour manager had an emergency at home and had to leave and was like, hey, I need to go. I need to deal with this. I got some other person. My manager didn't like that. Ended up like throwing like a vodka bottle at him.
Jesus.
Like, literally, because he was talking to me about it. And my security picked him up, took him out of the dressing room. And that was the last time I ever saw him.
Your manager?
Yeah.
At the time?
That was the last time I ever saw him.
Was that Debo?
It was Debo. It was Debo and Paul, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, I start working with this other manager who was working with my manager at the time, but wanted nothing to do with that person. And I worked with her for a long time. And then when this whole thing happened again, I really had to think and make a decision, which was, do I want to keep doing the same thing I was doing 10 years ago, or do I want to elevate? And can this person take me to the next level?
Yeah.
And I remember sitting down with my wife and talking to her about it. And my wife was like, Shawn, I'm going to tell you something. I know how you are and you care about people. You don't want to hurt people. You don't want to hurt people's feelings. But she's like, Shawn, I'm telling you right now, in this moment, you need to be selfish. You need to be selfish and think about what is best for you, not about people's feelings, not about what's best for them, what is best for you. And in my heart, I knew deep down that I needed to make a move. Because as much as I love this person, I knew this person could not take me to the next level of where I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I had one of the hardest conversations of my life with that person because she was like a sister to me.
Yeah,
family,
she's great people.
right?
Yeah.
And, you know, and I just said, like, I you know, I love you, but I don't think you're going to be able to do what I want to do. I'm getting off my couch for this. I'm stepping back into something that I walked away from. Like, this is a big commitment because, like, you know, if you commit to doing this, you got to be all in. So, you know, did that. And then I was kind of like in this limbo where, like, all right, now I don't have management and now I need to start talking to people.
What year was that?
That was 2022.
So
2023.
This is after the OVO.
After
North
OVO,
All-Stars?
after like my first single comes out, like after Maniac, after the, you know, the comeback Rivoli show, after all that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I didn't feel like we were going anywhere.
Okay.
I'm like, what are we doing here? Right. So yeah, I'm in limbo and I'm, you know, talking to different managers and nothing's really clicking. I'm not really hearing anything. And then Jamie at my label was like, hey, I know this guy named Steve, really cool dude. I'm going to put you in touch and let's just sit down with him and see, right? And so he puts us in a text thread, and Steve will tell the story too. Right away, I'm just inappropriate. Like when I don't care who you are, it's just me. You need to this is just me. Take me as I am. You take and so, you know, he messaged something and I'm like, yeah, this guy better have a big dick or something. Like I said something like that. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
And Steve, he tells the story. He's like, this is weird. I don't know if I want to work with this guy.
In the thread, this is the first message that happened.
I think you might have been it, but either way, I was like, asked my fiance, who's 34 at the time, or maybe 33 at the time. I was like, do you know about this Shawn Desman guy? She's like, wait, what? I was like 12. She's like 12, 13 years old, watching this dude in Much Music Countdown or whatever it is. And I was like, okay, well, he's pretty rude. But we can meet for lunch for sure. No, I'm just teasing. We're exaggerating the story, obviously.
So we sat down, and Chad was also in the meeting. And Chad, I have to say something about Chad. Chad, who at the time worked for the label, was instrumental in them signing me.
Right.
Chad basically said, if you guys don't sign Shawn, you guys are fucking idiots.
Why'd you go out on a ledge and do that?
Well, basically because I also grew up watching Shawn on Much Music, and I just kind of knew that
he saw the path where nobody else could see a path. I think.
Yeah,
right?
like I mean, Shawn's of the last era of like household names, like with Much Music and with radio, like back when we were kind of more in a monoculture where information came from one source.
Yeah,
it was a lot easier to kind of build an artist and a legacy. You know, like
absolutely,
it doesn't exist that much today. So I saw that Shawn had that. And we could, I thought there was a pretty big touring business there that could be tapped into.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. And then.
So we met, sat down, and right away I was like, oh, I kind of like this guy. I had already been working with Chad. And Chad, there was no talk, like I don't think in his mind he was ever like, I'm going to be a manager. Maybe, like, I don't know, right? And so we meet, we sit down, we talk, we leave that. And then I don't know, Chad, how did it come to be? Like, did you go to Jamie and Ron and be like, hey, I want to try to manage, or like, I can't exactly remember
Jamie
what happened.
brought in Steve at first, and then Steve just called me like,
that's what it was. Yes.
Sidebarred me, and he was like, man, I don't want to do this.
Because you guys already knew each other.
Yeah. Chad and I guess we're about 15 years into our relationship. We met both musicians.
Yeah.
So we met on a gig about 15 years ago, and we loosely stayed in touch over the last 15 years. And I was working with another artist that was on the label that Chad was doing marketing for. So we got a chance to work together, and we kind of reconnected. And as I went through that process with him, I realized, in no uncertain terms, how much of a creative thinker he was and is, and that his experience was like very different than mine. And I thought it would really apply well to being a music manager. And I said, for a couple of years, maybe I was like, we got to do something together, bro. And he's like, I don't know.
That sounds like about right. That sounds like Chad.
So, He was like, I don't know.
That was, by the way, the exact reaction he had when I said, "Wait, we should do the pod all together." You guys are like, "Yeah, let's do it." And he's just there like,
"Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about that right now." Well, I'm like, we're not doing this without you.
I like digging into the numbers and analyzing just data and figuring out a path through that. But I don't really love being in front of a camera or on a microphone.
Well, we got to have you in front of the camera because you have such a skill set that's very unique to his, and they complement each other and absolutely benefit Shawn. But I'd love to go take just a step back to that meeting.
Yeah.
What was it for the three of you to come to did you all realize in that moment, like, no, there's something here and it's special? Because
I did. Right away, I'm a good like judge of character, judge of people. And as soon as I met Steve, coming in with his long hair, he had a long beard and like super long hair. Right?
Okay.
This guy looked like a
whole other story. Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, I kind of like this guy. And like we're joking around and the vibe is good. And left there. And I think I thought to myself, and I told Jamie, I think I want to give this a shot. Like maybe we do it, on a 3-month test run and let's see how it goes. And here we are. I think, the best thing about these guys is their strengths because they're so different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's worked so well. And like,
totally.
You also got to remember, like, I hadn't, the first thing was like, okay, so what are we going to do? What is Shawn not best at, but what is one of Shawn's strengths? Live, performing live. How do we do that? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Chad goes in, does his data thing. Is like, okay, here's where the listeners are. We're going to do this. We're going to do 4 shows in these markets. Let's see. We had no idea. And we're making zero money. We're basically putting up all the money for these shows. And not knowing, are we going to sell? Like, are people going to actually buy tickets to these shows, right?
I think if we could just back it up, like, you'd been working with Shawn, you'd seen him perform live.
That's right.
Me, I hadn't seen, the live, the bedrock of working with an artist is the artist needs to be a great artist. The artist, in my opinion, needs to be able to perform well. And
all right, we're going to take a little break because being an independent artist takes a lot, and Venice makes sure you don't have to figure it out alone. The Venice team listens to your music, provides direct feedback, builds your release plan, and connects you with opportunities that move your career forward. Venice is the only distributor that opens real doors. They've brought their members to YouTube offices, introduced them to top artist managers, and had Kendrick Lamar's engineer mix their record. Their focus is always on giving artists real access, real support, and a team invested in their next step. If you are ready for your next release, Venice is where you build with a team that understands what it takes. Now let's get back to the pod.
We want to work with people that are super talented and creative and great performers. And, before, obviously, I could
fully invest.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I wanted to see you play live. So I guess that was the Elmo show during
Canadian Music Week.
Canadian Music Week, yeah. And I was really like, I was so blown away by how great a singer and professional performer you are, and the band, wonderful band, bunch of gospel players, like really, really great band. So it exceeded my expectation. And then I think, like, just to back up a little bit more, at that first lunch, we sidebarred, and I think the question really was, and you kind of alluded to it, was like, are there fans? Like, are there people that want to hear what you're doing now in terms of new music, and will they come and support you in a venue?
What a real question.
And
that's a real question.
Yeah, right. So we had to. There's the whole strategy in and around trying to figure that out, which is an interesting. I mean, you could elaborate on it a lot, but we spent a lot of time trying to figure out, like, what size rooms. How do we figure out what size rooms to play in? When do we do the shows? Who was interested in helping us present the shows? There's a lot of questions that we needed to have answered. So we kind of went about it in a pretty systematic way.
And even like, if I could back that up, when you're saying, are there fans here? Like, for those who don't know, Shawn Desman, you came out in 2002, 2003, monster album, monster records, and this is 20 years ago, right? And so, but like a superstar for sure in Canada. You're everywhere on Much Music. It was like, I was constantly reminded of who you were because, like, in my high school, my boy back then, Rob Chalupica, He was already super athletic. He already got all the girls. Now everybody's like, and he wore baby blue velour fucking Jacksons. And all the girls are now saying that, like, oh, you look like Shawn Desman. I got to compete with this shit now. This guy looks like a superstar now in our fucking school.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, you were everywhere. And this is for years. You know what I mean? So like you had a fan base.
Yeah.
Now it's trying to figure out, and then you go and you have those years where you're quiet. You step away from the business in 2015. So that's like a 8-year drought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the crazy thing was that even in Shawn's heyday, you weren't doing headlining hard ticket shows.
You never did hard ticket shows in that?
he was
What
doing-
is it about that? That era doesn't do hard ticket.
the genre,
But
the
not
genre.
even just
genre.
that. I feel like it's funny because I ask my agent the same, because I've been with the same agent
Still?
since the beginning.
Oh, wow.
Still.
Who's
Even
that?
though he's moved, Jason Furman.
Okay.
I was like, Jason, in my heyday, in 2010, 2011, biggest records of my career, Shiver, Electric, Night Like This,
Love Shiver.
already had Let's Go, already had Red Hair, already had Spread My Wings, already had Get Ready, already had Shook.
Yes.
Why am I not doing what I am doing? Why did I not do what I am doing today in those years?
Yeah.
Shouldn't this kind of been reversed? Like I was massive. I was probably one of the biggest, if not, the biggest domestic artists in the country.
For sure.
How am I not doing these hard ticket things? And like, how are we not selling out 5,000 seats? And there's not really an answer. But it all comes down to, again, I'm going to say it, management, strategy, and ideas. And I just think there was lack of all those things.
And,
know?
and probably, and again, like not to be controversial because I don't fully know, but I would assume greed. Like there's money to be had out there. Someone was making money on touring.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was Star Maker. I'm sure there was Factor out there.
Yeah.
So like everything needs to be connected like in an authentic way, right? And at the root of it, it needs to be a clear vision at the end, right? And how you go from A to Z.
Yeah.
Right. And if it's just about, okay, let's get some money to tour. And if we have the money and the money is going where the money goes.
Yeah.
Maybe
it takes a lot of capital to
yeah,
to
yeah.
For sure.
And maybe like like for us, it is all about fans, growing fans, maintaining fans. Like everything is about the fans. Period. So,
and for those who don't know, a hard ticket, not to cut you off, but a hard ticket means that we're going to a show to see the headliner who is Shawn Desman, whether it's a 200 cap room, a 500 cap room. It's not a soft ticket. It's not a festival where you got a bunch of acts on there. It's like how many seats can you fill in a venue yourself? That's what the hard ticket is.
Yeah.
But to your point, I can't believe you never had a hard ticket. So you're building this in 2023, 2022.
Yeah. And
After my career.
yeah, we're like, we didn't know. We just didn't know.
when Shawn first walked in the door and I met him, I remember the first thing I said to you, I was like, bro, you don't have TikTok.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, I ain't getting it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you are.
I'm the anti. I was the anti everything on social media. Like I didn't realize how. Yeah, because I'd stepped away for so long, so I had no idea. I wasn't in the world, right? I obviously knew of TikTok. I was on Instagram, but not doing the things that I needed to be doing.
Yeah.
And
your generation looks down a little bit on that.
A little bit.
You know?
Because your sense of it was, I don't want to get on there and do the song and dance and
I don't want to look stupid doing these dancing trends and like all these people. Like that's what I need to do. And it's funny. Chad was like, no, you don't need to do that. You just need to go on and be yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, the thing that's interesting about you, Shawn, is that you've had 20 years in the business. You're a family man.
Yeah.
A lot of your writing is like related to your wife, to your kids. Like if you just share that, like, your fans grew up with you. You came into the business when you're 18.
Yeah.
Your fans are a reflection of yourself. So they share those experiences. So if you get on and relate on a human level, then that's, I was like, that's all you need to do. And we also happen to have a photo of Drake pulling Shawn aside and telling him he's awesome. So we posted a little photo slide with Drake and got 60,000 followers overnight. And the next thing you know, we're off to the races.
Well, to that point, even like I don't think there's a more apparent understanding of what the Drake effect is than that moment right there.
Yeah.
Because this is, and with all due respect, your career is flatline at this time.
Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so a lot of people would say like his career is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drake communicates with you, come and perform on the show. The fans love it. They're singing every single word back. I was there. I saw it in real time. It was the entire night was a movie. And there were other acts as well that were doing the same thing. But this is where the Drake effect helped bring you to another level. But you also took it to, you absolutely maximized that moment.
Yeah. Well, it was like right ahead of that show. I got on the phone with Shawn and with Jamie.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, so we're like 3 days out from the show. We're like, okay, we got to get a hold of Jess, our publicist, and make sure that you're ahead of the show on every single radio station. We got to make sure that the morning after the show, you're on every breakfast television.
So smart.
And then we called up our Gareth for radio, and we're like, we have a song in the hopper. We got to start teeing it up and get a release going. So then within a month of the Drake show, we inked the record deal and had the song out to radio and had a top 10 at 2 formats in Canada. And
jeez.
And I was running points and all the marketing at that point, and got Shawn on TikTok, and just that's kind of
and so this is so now I want to so many questions, but I want to understand here just a little bit, because when you're saying where are the fans, right? Like we're trying to figure out where the fans are. Are you on TikTok at this point now when you're trying to figure out where the fans are?
Yeah.
Okay.
And and I can't take all the credit for TikTok. We can't take all the credit for TikTok in our socials. We have a guy who's like incredibly creative and like comes up with ideas and does stuff. Matt, he's amazing. I have to give him a lot of credit. We owe a lot of this to Matt. And it was like, there's a lot of trial and error. It's like, we got to find and shoot the content and then see what resonates with 100%. People, right? So we started doing like old music video type videos with like my old because they're like, he's like, you need to capitalize on your old catalog. People, these shook, get like electric, right? And so we did that, and we did these style videos, and they go completely viral, like tens of millions of views of like me dancing around with my wife to Shook, pretending we're like filming a music video. And people are like, holy shit, forgot about this guy. Where's this guy been? What's going on?
Yeah, and in 2023, at that time on TikTok, there was a big trend of like 2000s R&B.
Yeah.
So it just was like the perfect timing, the perfect storm. And like, I'm really good at kind of analyzing data after the fact, but Matt is kind of the creative thinker to kind of be like, okay, I know what's trending right now. Your catalog would work, but like, so we had a song that was doing extremely well radio, and he's like, well, we can't push the song. We got to do the catalog, because the catalog is what's going to connect with the fan base that has been laying dormant for 20 years.
Yeah. What's your thinking when that's happening?
Well, I'm kind of like, really? Can we, like, I want to promote new music. Like, I don't want to keep going back to these songs, but then I realized like the songs are actually timeless. And it's funny because ever since this thing, I've been hearing more of Shawn Desman back catalog on the radio than I've ever heard before. Like Shook and Electric is constantly on the radio.
To be honest, in my mind, Electric came out like a few years ago.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. But it sounds like it could come out today.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what
I had to literally look it up and be like, when did this come out? Oh, 2009, 2010. That's crazy.
Yeah. So we do these videos, and this is when we're like, okay, now we've kind of like, we found the fans.
Yeah.
Do they want to see you now? And like, what are we going to do? You know? And so we booked these 4 shows. I think it was like Kitchener, Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto.
Like between like 700 and basically 1,000 cap rooms.
Massive risk.
Yeah, right.
And, huge. Dude, we're getting no money. Dude, we're getting no money for these shows.
The promoters at this point were like pretty reticent to offer much of a guarantee. Like we were taking a risk on the shows, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like you had to go to war with like, well, first of all, us like just trying to convince our agents that the play was a hard ticket. And they were like, well, there's an opening slot. There's a cross Canada tour. What if we build this package? And we're like, no. They're like, we need the promoters to believe in us. And
what gave you the ability to believe in that you guys could do these 4 shows? So you going into the data?
Yeah. So I'm basically just looking at Instagram, at TikTok. So and through
Spotify too. No,
Spotify through the universal distribution system at that time. There was just a platform called Consumption. So it literally kind of pooled everything together.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at that, and also using like chart metrics and sound charts and
anything and everything
I can just grab, and then trying to figure out what the active audience is versus passive, where the locations are.
How are you finding out the active versus passive?
So active versus passive, like basically it's like active would be any source that's not coming from an editorial playlist. You know what I mean? So it's like people actually finding the song, adding it to their own playlist, playing it off of your profile. So that data is obviously a lot easier to find on a Spotify versus an Apple. But anyway, so we're looking at that, and also just looking at conversion for like, say, so you do a post, it gets 1 million views, but you have 10,000 comments. Okay, well then like, what song is that on? Where are the people located when they're looking at those posts?
How are you finding where those people are located?
Like just using like secondary apps and stuff.
Like what?
Look, Chartmetric.
Oh, like Chartmetric.
Yeah,
Chartmetric will show you on. Well, I guess it will show you the top 10 of the cities, right?
On SoundChart, it literally will show you literally range from the most viewed to the least viewed.
Oh, okay, on SoundChart.
Instagram reel. You can just scroll right down. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to, at that point, cross.
You know I'm going to dig. I'm going to ask what's going on.
Don't want to give away all my secrets.
I know, you looked at me like, really? All right, everybody, we're going to take a little break. Because if you're listening and thinking, fuck, I could really use some guidance right now, and you're serious about building your career in the music industry, I'm now offering private strategy sessions. These are fully personalized, just you and me tackling whatever you need in your career. With over 16 years of experience working with artists, managers, and brands, I can help you map out your next moves. Now, whether that's structuring your team, scaling your brand, navigating the industry, even figuring out what steps to take, whether to go to a distributor or to a record label and figuring out what are the best deal points, I can help you with your career with where you're at. You can now book a one-on-one with me through my Calendly, and you can find the link in the description. Now let's get back to the pod.
But, and then at a certain point, you're just trying to figure out, like, obviously there's an overlap between your total audience on Instagram, your total audience on TikTok. Right. People who use both those platforms. So you're trying to weed that out. And then you're just basically going, like, of all the active fans that may be out there, say 10% in any given city will actually buy a ticket.
Correct.
So then at that point, I'm like, okay, so let's pull all these numbers together. It's not a perfect science because, again, I don't know who's on Spotify versus Instagram and TikTok is all one person.
It's a bit of feel.
It's kind of a bit of feel.
Yeah.
So I'm just, creating a little formula for myself and then creating a 10% of that number is probably the maximum we can sell. So we should make sure that whatever we're booking is lower than that number.
Right.
Within those limits.
Yeah. So, but when we were doing it though, like some of the numbers were a little too crazy. And at the time I was like, well, I don't know how good my math is, but it looks like we can do 5,000 tickets in Toronto. So we should book a 1,000 cap room.
Yeah.
And then we blew that through.
Well,
and then
truthfully, like when we put the shows up for sale, they did decently.
Yes.
Remember? And this is an interesting point. I don't know, on pre-sale, maybe we did 10% or something. Like I'm trying to remember, somewhere around there. And then as we talked about strategies to like, are we actually reaching, how wide are we actually reaching in terms of our marketing online? Because we're the people that are, let's be real, we're the people that are driving the marketing.
Yes.
As opposed to the promoters. I mean, it's a bit of both, but truthfully, we're realizing it's a lot of us. So the three of us and Matt started like talking about ideas for different type of content. And I guess we came up with maybe it was a set list idea.
Set list videos, yeah.
Set list videos. And all of this were about maybe a week and a half into the shows being on sale. And then all of a sudden we hit on one where we just saw an immediate correlation to views, comments, and ticket sales. Like we were wrapping within 3 days, we did like arena level wraps.
Yeah.
And we sold at the Phoenix in 3 days. We sold 700 tickets, I think, in like 2.5 days or something like that. Like
it was correlated. Was it correlated to the set list
video?
To the
video. Yeah. So we're like, okay.
Our agents were like, what happened this weekend? Because they had no idea. They're like, what happened?
Yeah, I remember.
Can you tell us? Yeah. And we're like, we had a fucking video go fucking viral. And that's what happened.
And then we're like, okay.
Fuck yeah.
And not every single market that they all basically reacted in the same. Toronto obviously proportionally had the biggest surge because we know now.
Based off of,
we know now that
it's our biggest market.
It's our biggest market. Thank you. So it was, it was one of the first times in my career where like you could see cause and effect so clearly, right? Because it's a bit of like Star Trek-y stuff sometimes. We're like, we're doing this thing. Is it really affecting streaming? Is it really affecting ticket sales? Like, do we do dark ads? There's not an always immediate correlation, but we saw an immediate correlation between this particular type of content and reaching widely and broadly Shawn's fan base. And it was kind of like nothing like I'd ever experienced. It was so
and we sold out those fucking. It was so the 4 shows were sold out
like
within
immediately,
like week and a half.
Yeah, and we it's not like we're continuing to learn, and we can obviously dive into this more.
Yeah,
but in that moment, it was a really fascinating and like palpable thing that was happening.
Because we're like, this social media shit actually works.
Yeah, like it can.
Right? That was proof.
So
this is proof. This is correlated.
Yeah. So then the next thought is, well, I guess we need more than 4 shows.
So
we better put on a Vancouver and a Calgary and Edmonton and Winnipeg and everything in between. And we went coast to coast.
When did you add those?
So the first initial 4 shows got announced, I think, in December of 2023. We sold them out. I remember I was in Newfoundland visiting my mom over Christmas. And I got Shawn on the phone being like, we wrapped the shows. I guess we got to put more on. And we were like harassing our agent being like, I know it's like
Christmas holidays
December
and everything.
27th, but we need to get avails for February for Vancouver. And so we added the remainder of the shows down. How many did we do?
Yeah, I think what's actually happened is we ended up doing, I think, 6 shows in Ontario. And then like in May of
it was May of 2024.
We did like Victoria through to the Maritimes.
Yeah. We sold them over Christmas, but the shows actually were in February.
Yeah.
May.
Yeah.
I meant the Ontario.
Yes.
Yeah. But obviously,
but then adding a second Toronto show to that, and Niagara Falls OLG before the Toronto show.
Yeah.
So when you think about how many tickets we sold in the GTA is actually
like
kind of
9
crazy.
months. Yeah, we did.
We did 3 shows,
basically,
all sold out.
Phoenix,
History, OLG, and the Phoenix.
That's right, because Phoenix is 1,000 cap room, and then History is
2,500, and then OLG is 5,000.
1,000 hard tickets.
Yeah.
Amazing. How are you feeling when this is happening?
I'm feeling like, is this real? And just super grateful, man, because you don't know what to expect when you're doing these things, right? And what's funny, and I think it's funny when I get comments and things from fans, one of the things I get a lot is the fans saying, we have adult money now. We're not kids anymore.
Oh, yeah.
We're not kids watching you 13, 12, 14, 15. We're adults. We have adult money. We can come and see you perform. And like,
oh shit.
They're like, and I don't know, man. And like, as I was growing up and doing this and releasing these records, I never thought, and still do, I think it's kind of crazy how much these records impacted my fans. Like literally people like, no, I grew up with you. Like we grew up together, Shawn Desman. Like I grew up listening to your music, watching your videos. You were a huge part of my upbringing, of my teenage years, of my, pre-teenage years. And it's so crazy for me to think that. And, now being, 43 and my fans being, we see the biggest ranges like 25 to 45. That's like my sweet spot right there. It's incredible. And to be selling out these shows and people wanting to come and see me. And I feel like every time we do a show, we gain more fans. Cause like somebody that hadn't been to a show is like, holy shit, Shawn is fucking incredible up there. Like we're coming to the next show,
We're also putting on all ages shows so that some of your original fans that would have been 18, 19, who are now in their late 30s are coming with their kids.
Yeah.
So we got moms and daughters in the front row. Like,
it's crazy, man. I always say like, fans that were 20 years ago who were my age now are, my age now and have kids who are also fans and like real fans, not like their parents are making them listen to the music, like they're actual fans.
Yeah. I like, Shawn's had a few festival shows this summer and there was one in Barrie and I love walking through the audience, like when we're playing shows and just seeing who's there and like analyzing the demographic. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But it is all connected, I think. Like,
are you talking to everybody in the audience?
Pardon me?
Are you also talking to everybody?
Literally.
I just got my pass. I'm just showing them, like, manager. No.
did I mention the beautiful weather?
Yeah. No chill, Gil. That's me. I think the stuff that we're like, there's a clear correlation between how Shawn presents himself to the public. It's an authentic way of doing it, but fans know like our brand, and it's all connected, right? Like, and I think we've done a great job of accomplishing that. And to be clear, like there's a group of people that have been supporting us. Like obviously we're mentioning Matt, and we have a great label and folks that are doing marketing and supporting us at the label as well. And we have amazing agents in a whole bunch of territories, and PR, radio. Like it really does take a village. I will say that we're in the trenches and we work extremely hard.
Every day. We're the ones on the phone every day talking about this and how are we going to do this and what are we going to do? We need music. Okay, what's this? Okay, this. And like, what, I feel like that's a big part. And also what I love about these guys as well is that I've always been like a yes guy. Hey, you want to do this? Sure. Hey, you want to do this? Sure. I never had somebody to be like, no, we actually can't do that because it's going to mess with this. And then if you do this, we can't do this.
What's an example of that?
It's like for example, some shows. Like we get tons of offers for festival plays and stuff. And we're like, oh, that's good money.
Yeah.
But if we do that, remember what we're trying to do. We're trying to grow your hard ticket business.
Yes.
We want to get to Scotiabank Arena. How do we do that? We got to do this and we can't do this because we need this to get there.
Yeah.
So we're turning down a lot of shit. And, which sucks because it's good. Festival plays are good money, bro.
It's good money. It's always good
great money.
But you don't want to burn the market. That's
100%.
Yeah.
And we also understand that it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be, we're trying to plan for the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So if we know that we're doing our second national headlining tour in literally 14 months, that means next year we're not doing hard tickets. So how do we make sure that we're financially stable through next year?
Yeah.
So we have a few things that we've done in the last few months to kind of secure that up. And then it's looking at the year after coming back. And, we moved from last year doing venues of like 700 to 1,500 cap to now doing venues of, 1,800 to 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years from now, the goal would be to be
5,000 and up.
Yeah. And then even on a more micro level, like we're talking about what we can afford and like to bring on the road, who we can bring. There's
I know that we've been talking a lot around a few other topics, but this is like Steve's like jam. This is why this
the
is
touring side.
Yes.
Yeah, because you came up as a tour manager.
Yeah, I came up as a musician, touring musician, bass player, and learned some great tour managing skills from some great tour managers, and eventually fell into tour management alongside bass playing.
Let's talk about it because I don't really talk about that side of the business on this podcast a lot. So I'd love to dive into it.
Yeah. Well, where do you want me to start?
Well, we can start with the part that you were getting into here.
I mean, if it was up to Shawn and I, we'd be having like 14 tour buses, all golden and everything else. And Steve makes sure
explosives. I'm going to be flying across the stadium.
I was like, yeah.
True.
Shawn,
I want the Chris Brown package. Give me the Chris Brown package.
Yeah. I guess like maybe the topic we're discussing in this moment is like how we allocate like what we do.
Yes.
Right. And like
how do you make it cost efficient?
Yeah. And with touring, but I mean, even like more like as a business, like, what do you do? And like, what is Chad responsible for in Capstan? Capstan's our company, management company. What do I do on the day to day? Like, how do we divide that labor up? And obviously, I come from like I came to music management through the live side of music first as a bass player, and then as a bass player and as a tour manager, touring internationally and tour managing like tours internationally, and learned an awful lot. I mean, the biggest lesson was probably 10 grand became 20 grand once you did 2 jobs. And I learned a lot about a different part of the industry once I started tour managing. I learned about, agents and contracts, and there was and promoters, and I became the voice of the artist for the first time and realized, well,
maximizing those contracts to make sure that, promoters aren't just knowing when to stuff that I didn't know, like when we were the first run of shows that were selling out quickly for Shawn, Steve knew to immediately get on the phone with our agent being like, we got to pause the advertisement budget because obviously the show sold out. So they allocated X amount of dollars to advertisement. They don't need to spend it. So that money goes back into the pot that splits 90-10, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this guy, but even like at settlements, you're like, oh no, this is wrong. This is missing.
Yeah, I understand.
But it's crazy, bro.
Ultimately, I think, I don't really need to be or want to be the person settling shows anymore. However, for those first run of shows, I was definitely there and looking at the contract, and that's part of my story. I definitely learned once I started tour managing how to read a contract, and that opened. We live in the music ecosystem is complex and wide.
Yeah,
right. There's so much to absorb from the live side, the publishing side, the recordings. It's an incredibly complicated industry, And I think like my come up was, in a tour bus with a bass, and then a laptop and a clipboard, and all the things that I learned as a tour manager. And eventually I kind of organically fell into music management in the same way, where I was working with an artist who was managed by Alan Reed at the time, a fellow named Royal Wood. And Alan got the job running Karis, running the Junos. So he had a big conflict of interest at that moment and couldn't manage Royal anymore. And Royal took meetings with all the biggest and fanciest managers in Canada, and he chose one, and in quick succession, it didn't really work out. So we were sitting in a hotel room one day in Edmonton, and he's like, "Do you want to just try managing me, Steve?" This, I think, 2014. And I said, "Well, sure, I'll try, man. I mean, I'm already your tour manager and bass player, so let's give her a whirl." And within a week, I remember sitting with Randy Lennox and and all the folks at Universal and Maple, and being like, Royal, what's a JV? He's like, just go, I'll tell you this. I had to learn it all, right? And, And anyway, like, so that was my start. And I had this management company where I managed a lot of adult contemporary artists like Royal Wood, a woman named Misha Brugger-Gossman, who's a very, very successful operatic classical performer. And
very different from Shawn Desman, as you can see.
Different from Shawn
Desman.
Super different.
Day.
Yeah, like I grew up playing folk music basically, and like upright bass, and you know, and but all the conversations I tell you are the same. They're just different. They're just, you know, a little bit different.
Different personalities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so they started this company that I'm really, really proud of, especially, you know, knowing, I was starting a whole new life in Toronto, and very proud to build what I built on my own. And then, you know, eventually COVID happened, and that changed a lot for a lot of people.
Yes.
Definitely left me in a place where I was feeling unsure. And, you know, as fate would have it, Shawn came into my life not long after COVID.
Yeah.
And, you know, frankly changed it. So, along with, you know, my good friend Chad, you know, working with Chad has like reinvigorated my passion for music management. And
you guys, both of you kind of went through a similar journey where it's just like you were kind of done. Not, I want to say done with the music business, but you're tired.
Oh yeah, I was tired. COVID was tired for sure. But
yeah, with me, you know, it was the whole like, you know, being a successful artist and then like being chewed up and like spit out by like the major label system. That's just, I know that we hear this story like over and over all the time, but it just is what it is. And you know, like I tell people, it's like success has many parents and failure is an orphan. Because when you're hot, people love you, everybody's calling you, and when you're not, your phone's not ringing, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of felt like. And, you know, I fell into this, you know, a little bit of depression and drinking.
Really?
Yeah. I would have to be drunk to fall asleep.
Wow.
It got to that point.
Which is crazy because you're like, I see you as such a sober person.
Yeah. Because I don't drink. I'm now 2 years sober. I don't drink. I don't touch alcohol. So
good for you, man.
Yeah, it was, you know, that was a weird time for me. And, you know, going and seeing a therapist and talking to him was like one of the best things I ever did as well. And kind of just grounding myself and like finding myself again. That's why it was really hard to be like, am I really going to jump back into this? Like, because I know what comes with it. But you know, a couple of things. One person was like, first of all, Shawn, you have nothing to prove to anybody. So if you're going to do it, you do it because you want to do it, and you do it because you love it. That's one. And two was like, if I do it, I'm fucking doing it my way. I'm doing it my fucking way because my sanity and my mental health is everything to me. My family is everything to me. So anybody that works with me, if that's not fucking okay with you, then we can't work together.
Yeah. What does that mean to you?
It's everything, especially because everything I went through, I don't want to fall back into like that dark place and then be like, you know, the drinking and the depression was, you know, eating into like my family life as well. And I was just not a good dad, and I was not a good husband. And I don't want to be that person again. So I'm like, that's why I was like, if I'm going to do it, I got to do it my way, and it's going to be on my fucking terms. And Chad and Steve are amazing. And, you know, we all have boundaries, and we all, you know, not everything is all sunshine and rainbows all the time, but we always manage to come together and come to a resolution, come to a solution, and in a very graceful way. Like, we're very respectful with each other. And you know, I tell everybody, like, and it's kind of cliche to say like, oh, we're friends. Like, like I literally genuinely love these guys. Like, yeah, we work together, but past them, I want to hang out with these guys always, like forever. You know what I mean? And it just so happens that they're amazing fucking managers and like very smart people, which works in my favor. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I keep them around. But no, yeah, it's quite a journey.
Well, I mean, one thing that we were talking about off camera was just the interpersonal skill of things. And I think for you to be able to understand the boundaries also comes from like your personal life where you went through a lot of things yourself, right? And
yeah, it's true.
I don't know if that is of the reason that you have such great communication and skills with people, but I'd love for you to go into that because this is a business of, we want to call it network, but really it is like having great relationships in this business, right?
There's also a very dark side to the business as well.
Yeah.
There's a very dark side to the business.
Absolutely. And I think we've obviously discussed some like very specific metrics. that are kind of unemotional, right? We're talking about numbers and how to do that, but I definitely know from firsthand experience, and I think we all can agree that the relationship part of our industry is very important, and even like on a more personal level, like how important relationships are to daily happiness, I think, right? So I think, Reed, what you're referring to is we were speaking off camera about, and you know this about me, like as you get to know me, eventually you'll learn that I once suffered with addiction for sure. I struggled with it in my mid-20s. It was a very extremely challenging time, but eventually I landed on my feet, and here in Toronto, in my late 20s, to study, like I said, music, and definitely spent a lot of time in those early days in AA and NA meetings, and eventually in lots of therapy, which helped me immensely. All to say, I really did focus on putting one foot in front of the other for a number of years, and figuring out how to identify like my core values, and apply those core values on the daily in terms of decision making. And as I kind of navigated this life alone here in Toronto, I realized that I need other people to help me, right? And it's always been something that I've needed, and I realized that whether it's I need people to help me with business or with supporting me emotionally or spiritually.
He needs a lot of emotional support. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, for sure. I think I'm a pretty good therapist for you, though.
You are the best therapist, honestly.
Yeah.
Does that empathy come from the experiences that you had?
Yeah, thanks. I think empathy is probably the right word. I think it's definitely a core value to try to be an empathetic person.
Yeah.
I think being an honest person is also another core value. I think I definitely want to have some lightheartedness in my day to day.
Yeah.
I think that's important to me. Obviously take ourselves very seriously, but I want to enjoy my days, and 100%. I think it's a pretty good measurement of like where you are at in your life. How happy are you on the daily, right? Like, do you wake up, do you feel happy?
Yeah.
If I've just I think being perceptive and knowing how to communicate with people, and build relationships that feel like authentic. I know it can sound a little trite when I say that, but I think
it's hard to know which relationships are authentic in this business as well.
That's what I mean.
Damn near impossible.
Like,
man.
that's why I keep my circle small, bro. Where before everybody, I'm like, nah. I fucking can smell the bullshit from. I don't need everybody. I don't need 20 friends. I need those 5 people in my life that are fucking clutch, that I call and they pick up, and they'll fucking get up and like come wherever I am if I need somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard. It's hard because you never know when somebody just wants you for something, which is most of the time in the music business,
for sure,
what it is.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot too as of late, man. Just like, because I do consider myself someone that has good relationships, that can build strong relationships. And some of them are strategic, I won't lie, right? But like as of late, I've just been thinking, man, I really got to protect my energy, because it gets fucking draining.
Yeah.
And I think the older you get, the harder it is to spread your energy to different places, right?
Yeah.
To different people, and pouring into individuals, and then feeling like when you pour into somebody, at a certain point, maybe it's not to say that you need the reciprocation, but you feel like it goes the wrong direction. You're like, man, get burnt again.
Yeah.
So those are things that you got to be careful with in this business. I mean, in life in general, but
I agree. I think I can't speak to other managers, but the relationship, the artist manager relationship, for me, like, I have never experienced it in a way that's not like deeply personal, pretty much obvious, especially with our core clients, with Shawn, with Royal, with our new client, Jamie and Tebe. Anyway, with all our clients, really, like, I like the feeling of being close to them. There's so much work and advocating that needs to happen, and
and for the artists, they only have it's their lives. They have one go at it, right?
Yes.
So it's like, there's a lot of responsibility that we feel to do right by the artist. So it's personal. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I love that you say that. I always, when I hear like, it's just business, it's not personal. I don't believe that at all in this business. I think everything is personal in this business. How you receive it is different for everybody, and you shouldn't take it, like with a high swing of emotional imbalance, right?
Yeah,
but this is a very personal business.
Agreed, and it's nuanced, right? Like, it's extremely nuanced, and those that are most skilled, I think, are able to navigate really true friendships while having the business part of it feel okay too.
Yep.
Like I love making money, man. Like
trust we know, Steve.
Correct.
Yes, correct.
Correct.
You're an entrepreneur as well. Like,
correct.
Like there's no shame in wanting to. And there's no shame in that, right? And I think it only works if it's working two ways, right? Right. And I think like you can be empathetic, you can listen, you can be compassionate, you can love your clients, and you can also be a great businessman while doing it. And
absolutely.
I think that's where, this whole relationship thing, it takes a lot of perception, and for me, it's extremely important. And I've been supported for 20 years. Some of these relationships are still with me, like I can name 5 people right now that have helped me for the last 10, 15, 20 years. They're still at my side.
Yeah.
I go to baseball games with them. We go to dinner. Like we're not necessarily doing business together in this moment, but they help me on the come up, Like I've known Chad for 15 years. Did we speak every day for 15 years? No. But do we speak every day now for 15 hours? Yes. That's part of why.
Not by choice from Chad.
Yeah, not by choice, yeah.
Well, I got to say, I met you guys maybe a couple of years ago, right? We met when it was CMW.
Yeah.
But you reached out to me, I think, through my newsletter.
Yeah.
I want to say. And every time that you would reach out, it was like, you were really nice. I was like, he's too nice.
It's because
I don't know.
But then I met you. That is him, bro.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And then when I met you and I sat down with you guys there in the lobby of the hotel there, I was like, no, Isaiah's a really good dude, actually. And then I really got to understand, what you guys were building together with, because I peppered you guys with questions. Like, well, how'd you guys make this happen? How did this work? I know there's a team involved in all of this, but I realized when speaking to you both, you had a really good marketing hat, but you had really good communication skills, and you're really good with relationships, is what I realized out the bat. I was like, yeah, this is, he knows how to talk to individuals, make them feel good. But I felt like it was very authentic. I still feel like it's very authentic.
Yeah, it is, man. Listen, I can definitely speak for Chad and Shawn in saying that, we're grateful to be here speaking to you, in part because, we collectively admire you, firstly, as a person.
I didn't say that to do
No, listen, just, you can listen to it, man.
Okay.
Take your flowers, okay? Shut up.
Let us gas you up for a second.
Right.
Man, it goes two ways, right? We're grateful to be here, and certainly you're, as I've known you for the last couple of years, you guys know each other for longer, but you strike me as a very authentic, awesome human, and your reputation precedes you in the industry. I've been aware of you. We've both been aware of you for a long time, and really admire the work that you've done.
Thank you.
And continue to do. And with the pod here, obviously when I first reached out to you, I was like, really like what you're doing. And what I like about it, and I think what we all like about it, is how it's like, okay, you're an entrepreneur, but this podcast is about giving.
Yeah.
It's about coming at things with an open heart, right? And that's what we're talking about right now, I think, fundamentally, and that's what I'm going to speak for you guys. That's what we love about you, man. You come at it from the same place, right? So, So
I also think that's what we need to have, with our clients or with anybody that we meet in the industry. It's just the openness to learn and to communicate and to share. Because at the end of the day, none of us know everything.
Yeah,
and the moment we think we do and stop learning is because the industry is changing so fast every single day. When I was first started and I was in radio promotion, there was Instagram, but people were hiding their faces in their static photos. There was nothing to it, right?
Right.
But now
Very
it's
different.
It's exactly how we market to fans. So
well,
absolutely.
And I think again, it's under the same concept. The idea of working together on the daily. It's so fun. That's what I love about being a manager, is the collaborative, creative process of trying to figure, because we don't know, we really don't, like things
Don't
change.
know
So
what you do.
you know, like I definitely think we have our superpowers. Yeah, like we each have our, you know, Chad's like such a creative thinker, right? Like you have, your brain works in a very particular way.
Literally, like I'll have an idea, like not an idea, but something will happen, and I'll be kind of pissed off about it, and it takes Chad to be like, Shawn, listen for a second. XYZ, 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 and I'm like, fuck, you make so much. Thank you, Chad, for like talking me off the ledge, because you just made so much sense right now. He's so great at that, at realizing and seeing the potential of something that's not necessarily right in front of me all the time. You know what I mean? But he just has this power of like seeing that, you know?
But that's also that's great from your part to be able to communicate something when it's not that serious, so to speak. But it's also important that you're open to that feedback as well. Because a lot of artists can be closed off to that.
Yeah.
So it's a testament to you.
And I know some artists like that. They're just like, no, it's my way and that's it. No, you have to.
Yeah.
I've really learned in the
sure.
last little bit, you have to listen. You have to take a step back, think about it, and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're at the
really.
center of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
At
sure.
the end of the day, it's
Hard
my
to
face. It's my fucking everything.
Yeah.
But I have to believe that these guys want the best for me.
Of course.
And they do, you know? So there are some times I'm like, no, I really want to do it this way. You know what I mean? But probably I'm going to say 90% of the time, I'm like, fuck, you're right, Chad. Like, I need to chill out for a second. Like, I need to like just, yeah, you're right.
You still can't have that fancy microphone though. I'm just gonna, so you're not getting it.
I'm gonna rewind this part and play it back for my wife.
Yeah.
What? Can't Shawn listen?
Shawn listens. Why don't you?
No, my God, it's not going to work.
Yeah, no, it's funny because you did say like Shawn just said, you know, I'm gonna do this thing, but I want to do it my way.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking when he was saying that is like, yes, but you're actually like very collaborative and you're open, like you're open to hearing all ideas
100%.
out, right? And it's so fun, man. Like, do you relate like to the idea of like as a manager, like the process of getting in with someone and how satisfying that can be and frustrating at times off, but do you relate?
Honestly, I do this podcast and I enjoyed it and I've been having a great time with it and it's become my bread and butter. But honestly, some of the most fun that I had in my career was working with Byron and Jesse and just like coming up with these amazing creative moments and like sitting there in the room like dreaming impossibly big. And it was always a fun thing. I always got a kick out of like saying this wild idea and it'd be like, hey, and Jesse would always be like, that's how mans are feeling. Yeah, that's how mans are feeling. I'm like, I think we could do it. You know, let's call MLSC and see if we can get you on top of the CN Tower. I don't know.
Yeah, iconic, man.
I don't know. You know what I mean?
100%.
But and then when you pull it off and everybody's in sync and everybody's aligned and the idea just is executed, you know, because you have incredible artists like yourself who can execute these ideas, you can then dream as big as you possibly can, right? With the right artist.
Yeah.
So that's the manage. And then also seeing I did the same thing because that's why I asked so much about the data because I would constantly be looking at that data, pouring through information.
Yeah.
And I remember doing the same thing when we were about to put tickets on for Jesse in London. Yeah. And it was like, I had the same thought. It was like, I think 10%, you know, she's got 50,000 followers. I think she had 100,000 on Instagram at the time. And it was like, well, I think we can get 10%. It seems like there's 10,000 fans here from London. Yeah, we can get 10% over here. I think we could sell this out. Yeah. Put up the show, blew it out within a minute. It was like, this makes sense. And those moments are like, look, guys, this is real. This is actually starting to grow. And yeah, those are, I love that stuff. And even with Scratch Bastard, like been working with him for a couple of years. And one of the funnest things was bringing Busta Rhymes out to his Bastard's barbecue. It was like iconic. Yeah. And that was me like really calling Corey.
Yeah. Oh, was it Corey helped you with that?
Because he manages him.
Oh,
wow,
okay.
Got it. He manages him. So that's how I was just like, hey, Corey, how are we feeling about this? And he told me, he's like, you're very charmingly annoying. But that's is that him right here? That's you. Well, I was gonna ask, you know, when you're saying no to, you know, a bag, it's good money. How are you going back and communicating to these people? Because it is a business of relationships, and some people could take it the wrong way. You know, so how are you communicating so it's a soft landing when you're saying no to people?
I think like our job as managers is that from the very top down to have our full team like aware of our overarching strategies, right? Like here's when we're releasing music, here's the corresponding touring, like here's the brand stuff we're working. I want our agents, I want our publicists, obviously, I want our radio team, everyone to understand and it's not an easy task, why we're doing what we're doing, right? So
Mm.
in terms of saying, like, generally it's I think as long as the person who is presenting us with the offer understands that we're grateful for it, but that we have a very specific strategy and plan that we can't veer from. And I think people and it's not closing the door. It's just
That's
saying
so hard.
we're closing it for now.
Yeah.
Right? It's not we're closing it forever. But do you think, is that right, Chad? Like, is that pretty?
Write that down.
Yeah.
That's good.
Closing it for now.
Yeah.
Not closing it
I
forever.
think, and like, just as, like sometimes I think of us like as the head coach, and we got to get all of our offensive and defensive coordinators like on the same page, and everyone, it's really hard to have like,
totally, because other
it's
people are
so
going to have
hard.
different opinions of
Oh,
ideas.
100%.
And not for any reason that, they're trying to like throw things off, but it's they also want what they think is best for you, but you're so in the weeds of it. You're like, listen, this is the plan and we're going to move forward. And you got to understand how this works, and you'll get pushback.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Just keeping the team, the overarching, the overall team up to speed on the overarching plan.
Yeah.
And the plan can change. Who knows? Sometimes things happen and the plan changes, but there's just keeping everyone looped in constantly on where we're at and where we're going and why we're doing it is a challenge, especially for a company like ours where we don't have a big staff. We have a bunch of subcontractors that we pay, but it's up to us, me and Chad, to remember, like, person X needs to send this newsletter to our agent. Like there's an incredible amount of
especially when we're doing pre-sales and VIP. And
there's this
updating every link on every website.
Yeah,
and we're touring using like with different partners, so it's like we're not at the point where we're doing like a Live Nation national tour where everything's from Ticketmaster, so we have different ticket selling links and platforms, and
there's a lot of big picture thinking. Then there's an incredible amount of minutia still, right? And like I think it was maybe Chief that said it in your early days, like about one of the great qualities of being a good manager is like answer emails. Like, just answer your friggin' emails.
Yes.
And I was right away. I was like, okay, at least I'm doing one friggin' thing right. Like I was living out of my inbox and
who was really great at that too? I think I've told you guys this too before. Randy Lennox.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
President of Universal at the time. You send him an email, in 5 minutes he's responding to you, man.
Oh, okay.
It was great. I really admired that about
Randy
him.
Lennox.
I did.
Shout out to Randy. Yeah. Okay, so when you got two managers over here, right? They both have different skill sets. Whenever you're trying to get a point across, tell the truth. Are you going to one of them versus the other? Are you saying, hey, listen, let's have a conversation?
I do that, but for different things.
Okay.
Well, like I feel like with Steve, a lot of the business stuff and like money and band and like dealing with that. And with Chad is a lot of the creative. So like even music, like I like to bounce off ideas, off of Chad and like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Sometimes, he's not going to love everything. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. I have to know, like when it comes to that stuff, I have to really kind of go with like a feeling that I get about something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely, we've talked about this whole episode, like different skill sets, different strengths. But that's what makes them so great. Like, I just feel like they complement each other so well. And I feel like that's why this whole thing works so great.
But you're at the head of all of this. You're at the end of the day, you're making the decisions, right?
Yeah. I mean, but I like to think that, yes, of course, like they say, you're the boss. Well, it's what you want, whatever you want. But I do make it a point to like listen and really take everything in from these guys, because I'm not that type of guy who's like, it's my way or the highway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
at the end of the day, we make a lot of decisions we make collectively. Like I think we make a lot of decisions together, the three of us. It's not one of us making the decision,
Yeah.
And even sometimes Chad may agree, may disagree, Steve may agree, disagree, but the goal is the same. The goal is like to elevate and like, how do we continue to make this bigger and bigger and more international and continue to do this, like Chad said, for the next 5 to 10 years. What's the next step?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I did hear Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's a goal?
That's a goal.
Yeah,
That's
man.
a big goal.
Yeah.
You know what's a good example of that process is we have some tour dates coming in November and December. And while we were fielding offers for this tour, we had an offer in one city in BC for 700 or 800 cap room at a certain dollar value.
Where's this
in Kelowna?
Okay,
and then
BC.
In BC, yeah. And then we had another offer in a city like 90 minutes away, like four times or 5 times the room, and like 3 times or 4 times
like
the
a
money.
Junior A hockey rink.
Yeah, it's like we could play in this arena for a bunch of money, or we could play in a a fancy theater for decent money, a lot less people. And like we went back and forth, and we never played in this market.
No.
Like we'd been in Vancouver, we've been to Victoria, but we'd never been in the interior of BC.
Yeah.
And we looked at the data, we did our thing, and then it's not an easy decision to be like, okay, let's leave this. We're gonna choose. We want this show to sell out, so we're gonna choose the 800 cap room, even though it's one of the smaller shows on the tour. We don't know the market. We're gonna leave the money. I'm like,
keep in
okay,
mind,
well,
like when we're on this tour, we have a bus, we have a trailer, we have all of our production.
Yeah.
So we're literally not unloading our production because the venue's too small. Because every other venue is 2,500 cap.
but
Yeah.
But so that's part of it too, right? And we're like, well, in the money in the bigger room that helps keep.
A lot of people would have just taken the bag,
Yeah,
pretty much.
sure.
And
But I'm
like,
like,
fuck that, we're taking that
Yeah,
money
but
and fuck this little
3,
Yeah,
4x the
100%.
But what, like, all we could think about is like, I couldn't imagine Shawn, even if we sold 1,000 or 1,200, 1,500 tickets to this arena, 1,500 in a 7,500 cap space is not going to look great.
Right.
So I want that sold out. We want that sold out sign on the ad mat. And now that show's already 80% sold.
Yeah.
Like it's sold out basically. So
Yeah.
so
What's your thinking when they're coming to you saying, hey, this money's great here, but we're gonna do this over here instead?
My thinking is it's not my strength. So I really listen and take what these guys give me at full face value when it comes to those types of situations. Because I'm like, guys, whatever you think, I'm happy with whatever decision you make. Do I want to, like you said, do I want to be in a 7,500 cap room playing a 1,500? That's going to not feel great for me on stage.
Yeah.
But if you guys think we need to take that fucking money because it's going to help, bus touring is fucking expensive, bro.
Yeah.
Like it is mental. So I'm like, if you guys think that's the right move and we should do that to help subsidize for this XYZ, yeah. If not, I'm more than happy to play 700-800 room, full, sold out, screaming fucking people. We know it's going to be exciting and it's going to be a great show. I'm happy to also do that.
yeah.
And I really have to trust them with these decisions. And if we were greedy fucking pigs, we'd be like, I'm just throwing a number. Let's take the 40 grand.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Who cares if we sell it out?
Yeah.
It's not our fucking,
Right.
It's not, who cares? It doesn't look bad on us. Like, yeah, sure. We didn't sell it out, but you just took home $40,000 for that show.
Right.
Yeah. So,
That is a quick means to an end.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course.
Because then you won't get back. Then that market's gonna be like, fuck you. He's worth nothing here.
He's
so then he's not
exactly.
coming back. We're
and
not
then
gonna
there's
ever do that.
festivals also in that market, right?
Yeah.
Like, and if I'd rather have a sold out show in that market, and the festival buyer knows, okay, cool, they sold out a show, like of a decent size,
Mhm.
as opposed to like, oh, they didn't really do that well at the arena, so I don't
Right.
think we need to book them at the festival. So you just you have to weigh the pros and cons, I think, and obviously we talk to our agents about it, get their 2 cents, and then we make our own decision based on instinct and what we've learned to this point.
How much from the audience that's coming to the shows are taking in or know the newer records, versus the older records?
No, they know them. And I think it's because we've done such a brilliant job with like marketing, a majority of the records. For example, Love Me With the Lights On. Chad was really the brain behind that whole campaign with Nyx and being like, we need to attach this to a brand, like a women empowering brand. Because Love Me With the Lights On is a song about my wife and her struggles and her surgery and her not feeling like I was going to be attracted to her anymore because of her ostomy and having like a piece of intestine, out of her stomach, and me seeing that and just being like ill gross. When I was like, no, that's never going to happen. And, when I told that story to Chad and stuff, he's like, oh, fuck, we got to do something about this. So, they reached out to Nyx, and Nyx was like, hell yeah, we want to do this. Nyx is a massive women's brand internationally. And then add to it where I went to like some of the biggest social media influencers who I've never met and been like, hey, I'm doing this. Do you guys want to be involved?
Right.
And hell the fuck yeah. Shawn Desman, Love Me With the Lights On, women empowerment, let's fucking go. So we do that and the shit goes crazy. And it's like one of the biggest things. We have Birds Papaya, we have Alicia McCarvo, Cat and Nat, all these huge social media influencers. And we do this campaign and it goes wild. So it's one of the, when I do that song live, it's one of the songs people go fucking mental for because they know it from the campaign. And, you know, but that's not to say that, when Shook comes on, fucking crowd goes mental. When Electric comes on, mental. Night Like This, mental. Now performing Body, the record that's sitting in top 5 right now in the country.
Nice.
They're like, people are fucking going mental for that. So that's
with Jamie, right?
Yeah, it's with Jamie Fine.
Yeah.
And she's fucking incredible. She's become one of my best friends.
She's dope. She's such amazing. A dope human, man.
And she was going
every time I see her, it's nothing but love.
And literally, she was going through a transition, management wise. And I said, not for anything, Jamie. And like, I have nothing to gain from this, but you should sit down with
Brother,
Steve and
you know
Chad.
how rare that is for somebody to offer up their management to another artist?
But I really care about her, and I think she's super talented, and I love these guys, and I know that they're good at their job. And I'm like, Jamie, you're going through the same thing that I'm going through, where you're sitting down with people, but you don't feel important. You don't feel like you're going to be a priority. You don't feel like you're not hearing the thing. I'm like, just sit down with them and like listen to what they have to say. And now they're working with Jamie, and every time she's like, I fucking love these guys. Thank you.
But that's
like,
also the second artist you brought out.
Yeah.
Second.
I also brought my boy Tebe. So Tebe was the same thing.
Yeah.
I've known Tebe for years, writer, country artist. And I'm like, talk to Steve and Chad, man.
Yeah.
I'm I think he needs somebody like you guys. You know what I mean? Tebe is a very like strong-minded artist. It's very important to him. It's very serious. And I'm like, but you need somebody making decisions for you, because I don't know if you're going to make all the right decisions all the time.
Yeah.
And so now they're managing him as well. And they had a crazy viral moment with the Blinding Lights country version with The Weeknd.
That's
The
right.
Weeknd posted it.
Yes,
like
yes.
it's shit just went crazy.
He
You know
cleared
what I mean?
it.
So
he also cleared it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah, I like, thankfully Shawn has really helped us out a lot building this company.
Well,
but no, it's amazing because obviously like Shawn's bigger than ever here in Canada. We're starting to make waves in Germany. We had a big festival season in Germany. Tebe's touring in Scandinavia. We got Jamie out in South Africa. So it's just like this past year has been, but we owe a lot to Shawn for just believing in us as much as we believed in him.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very giving with
I can't help it that I want to take care of my people.
Yeah.
That's just like my wife said it. She's like, Shawn, I know that's how you are, and you want to take care of your people, and you don't want to upset people. You want to try and make everybody happy. And with something like that, I feel like I want to give, and I want to help my people. I genuinely care about Jamie and Tebe. Like they're very important people in my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I want to take care of those people just like these guys. So I'm like, if I can help these guys grow their business as well with my friends, like why not?
Yeah.
Right.
We
You know
feel
what I
the
mean?
same way. And
As long as I'm always the most important and like the focus, it's fine.
Yes. Just right here. You're right here. Everybody, you're
Sean's
right
like,
here.
you see this bread? It's Shawn Desman bread. Who's buttering it? Shawn Desman's buttering this bread. Right here. Delicious. Low
It's
carb.
delicious. It's not margarine. It's butter.
It's
all right.
butter, yeah. There's a lot of protein in this bread as well.
It's a lot of protein.
Don't worry. Just
20
eat it.
grams
Yeah,
each
20
time.
grams. No, we definitely owe Shawn a debt of gratitude for sure.
hilarious.
Dude, can I ask, now that you're busier than ever, how is the family dynamic?
It's the best it's ever been.
Amazing.
Because now I get to like, you know what's weird, dude? Is in the beginning of my career. So I've been with my wife a long time. Okay, I've been with her since the beginning of my career. But I was told to hide I could not speak about her and our relationship.
That was that time where you couldn't do it. Yeah.
Because then these young girls you're not going to blow up. They're not going to want to be with you.
Yeah.
You need to just shut up. You don't have a wife. You don't have a girlfriend. And I remember being out places with my wife. Sorry, and would have been my fiance, my girlfriend at the time. And like girls literally grinding up on me, bro. And I can see the smoke just like leaving her ears. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Right? But she was always so great. And she's been with me from nothing, bro. From like me having nothing, from me driving the purple minivan that my parents owned to like now, being successful and having a beautiful home and having a family. So now I get to share these moments with them, and I get to like bring them with me. And I love that. Like, we're going on tour and I have a few days off in Edmonton. I'm like, well, I'm going to fly my family out. We're going to hang out at the West End Mall. We're going to do the water parks. We're going to do all the things because they've never seen that.
Yeah.
And then they're going to come to the shows. And you've seen like from stuff I posted, my daughter is a performer.
She's singing.
She's a dancer and she's singing now, and not fake singing. Can really sing.
She sounds good.
So I know at some point I'm going to have to deal with that at some point, but I'm not pushing her. my parents were never pushy with me, and I'm not going to push her. But if she comes to me and says, "Dad, this is something I want to pursue," I'm gonna be like, "All right, let's go. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do X, Y, Z." And I know that day is gonna come. She's a performer. She's just a natural performer. But I love my family life has never been better, and I think the fans have accepted because it's a different time where I tell people when I'm at shows and I'm doing shows and I'm on stage, it's not a bunch of girls trying to get in bed with Shawn Desman anymore.
Right.
These are married women with families. And there's this feeling, I don't know if you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when you're at my shows, it's this feeling of love and respect. And I'm fine. And I hate to say this because I want to say this without sounding conceited, because I'm not that person. I'm not conceited. I'm not whatever. But like, I'm finally getting the recognition and
Totally.
that maybe, I don't know, maybe it just wasn't my time, I guess. Maybe now's my time. But I'm finally feeling like, holy shit, like, I did a fucking good job. Like, I worked really fucking hard.
Yeah.
And I'm still here. I'm still busting my ass on stage. Like, with dancers, without dancers, I'm out there fucking, like, it's incredible. So being able to share with the audience now that I do have a family and I do have a wife, and them accepting that, they fucking love that. My socials, bro, whenever I post something with my wife or my daughter, it's like, it's crazy. It's bonkers. Millions and millions of views. So I think it's actually done the opposite of what people thought it was going to do, and maybe because it's a different time, but it's actually elevated my career.
They're very involved.
Very involved.
Yeah.
Super involved.
I saw the TikTok there. I love girls from Miami.
You saw the one with Chantal taping me?
Yeah. But it's just a testament to how strong the relationship is.
No, it's super strong. It's the best it's ever been.
You know, one thing that you said there, it is interesting because, I mean, I'll tell it from the perspective. I think when you're saying you're finally getting, the credit and it's earned and it's deserved, is because I think when you came up before, it was easy to hate on Shawn Desman. Like, because.
Oh, bro.
It was.
So many haters, bro. I remember being at shows.
But that's because you were killing it as well.
Yeah.
Because girls loved you.
And it was that.
It was easy for me to hate.
Yeah. But it was also because, like, not to, I'm saying this completely honestly, fully transparent. It was like, who's this white guy wearing the tracksuit?
That's the other part of it.
Thinking he's cool and coming to do our music. And shit. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of that. And I would be at shows sometimes scared for my life on stage. Most of the time it was okay. Of course, some of the time you have like one guy, a couple guys just being stupid. But it's not like that anymore, bro. Even those guys now are like, yo, I can't lie, I used to hate on you.
Yeah.
But I fucking love you now, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that happening now. Because now I think maybe at that time when I was 18, 20, they thought I was this cocky.
Well, because you're not really talking much, right?
No,
it's
not
just,
at all.
It's music videos, it's songs on the radio.
Because there's no social media, there's nothing, right?
That's
so
it.
people don't
know
know
your personality.
The real me, you
right?
know? And it's as much as like I can say I hate social media and like it's so much work, and like I don't think anybody who's on socials or like artists like social media, like,
right?
Because it's a lot of fucking work.
Part of the job, man.
It's part of the job, and it's not just the posting and like them creating. I literally for hours. You can ask my wife, ask these guys. I am commenting and I am liking every single post, every comment, every DM. I am answering everything myself. And it's come to the point where it's become an obsession where I'll post something at noon and I'm driving and then I leave to go somewhere between 12 and 12:30. And I'm like, oh, fuck, if I don't start engaging with this, the post is not going to go. The post is not going to go. That's what it's come down to.
That's crazy.
You know?
Yeah. You're touching on something there about just the strategy of TikTok, and I did kind of want to talk a little bit about that. But before I do, it's this era is allowing people to really see who you are.
Yeah.
And you're very grateful.
Yeah,
you have a lot of gratitude.
Yeah.
You know, and people get to see the real side of you, the emotional side. You went on a few podcasts and you definitely teared up on a few of them.
Oh my God.
My
in the
goal
beginning
on this
was
one
I didn't go anywhere without crying.
Yeah.
I was just crying all the time. Here's Shawn Desman fucking crying on TV again.
But I think because like you thought it was over.
I did, yeah.
And here it is that you have another opportunity. It's almost it's a second lease on life when it comes to your career in the music business, right? So it's amazing. And you're somebody that just like, this is working right now. I'm not gonna let up. No. Because I know how quickly this can change. Yeah. So you're just going for it. And a part of that is the TikTok. And, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what a lot of people don't realize is that there's like the algorithm of the TikTok, there's nothing better or stronger than that algorithm. It can definitely break a song.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people have to think about there's so many data points on the back end of that algorithm. It's like a bajillion stars when you're looking out at night. And you got to figure out how to connect that algorithm, which is just people. And you can do it through warming up your own algorithm, whether you're liking comments from your own, you're engaging, it creates a touch point. You can go to somebody else's page and do the same thing, if I'm not mistaken, right? Go to somebody else's page, similar fan interest to Shawn Desman, like their comments, like their post, engage with their post. Now there's an opportunity for the FYP to like show up on there because you're engaging with them. That's a full-time fucking job.
It is. The one thing I want to say too, and I have a hard time wrapping my head about this particular thing, just because a song doesn't go viral doesn't mean it's not a great song.
Yes.
I have a hard time wrapping because I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and I like to think that I have a good sense of good music, great music. So every artist is trying to do the same thing. We have this song that we're super excited about, and then we get super fucking bummed when a video doesn't fucking smash or get like 10 million views. I've had to train myself, and I have to believe that does not mean that song isn't good.
Right.
The fucking algorithm, you don't know, dude, the algorithm is the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's fucking, it's luck. Most of the time, it is luck. It's like, yeah, sure, sometimes you can have a great concept and a great video and it goes, but like, it's fucking like a crapshoot, the algorithm, bro.
Yeah.
It's a fucking crapshoot.
Yeah.
And like, it's frustrating sometimes because you put so much work into content, into stuff, and then you're like, well, that didn't fucking go as planned. Like, I really thought that was the one that was going to go. So like, you have to almost like, and I'm not even there yet in terms of like, you have to just post shit just to post and don't have any expectations.
You got to separate yourself from the results,
you
which
gotta
is
be like,
so hard.
Oh, it's so fucking hard, especially when we all have that. We're like, oh, this is fucking, this is brilliant.
Is the one.
This is going to go.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like fucking crickets. You're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I have to tell myself that just because a song doesn't go viral doesn't mean it's not a great song, and doesn't mean it won't connect with at least my audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes it could even be just like the wrong time of day.
Yeah.
Wrong day, wrong time that you post.
Yeah.
There's no fucking science. And they can tell you, well, post Mondays at 12 o'clock is the best time. Then you try that and nothing fucking happens. You're like, there's no fucking rhyme or reason for why shit goes.
Great music.
Tebe going viral.
Great song, right?
Great song, yeah.
Right song, different genre.
Yeah.
Huge country, country music is massive.
Yes.
Put the Weeknd's face on a fucking AI picture there and the shit just goes fucking bonkers.
Is that what it was? Weeknd's face? Is it? Yeah. Is that what you did? What'd you do?
Well, okay. Well, the actual.
Well, hold on. He's going to tell the story properly.
Yeah. The proper science behind that was we took the Weeknd's Super Bowl performance. We flipped the video, like mirrored it. And then just animated it so it looked like it was AI generated. And then it said, is this the AI? Or what was the caption? It was like POV, AI Weeknd sings Blinding Lights Country or something like that. It was just like, and then we got 22 million views on it in like 24 hours.
Yeah, the whole a couple 100 million views of like the whole campaign.
And then we just followed that up with slideshows of the Weeknd in different cowboy hats and different outfits, riding a horse.
No shit.
And then we had Tebe like sit, because at a certain point it was like we had all this activity and the Weeknd himself had reposted it by this point, and we're like, we need to find a way to attach this song to Tebe as an artist, because like 100 million views is incredible. And the streaming it's doing 300,000 streams a day. This is great. But no one knows who Tebe is. So
right.
And the funny thing was that Tebe actually at that time, because he was in Amsterdam visiting his wife's family, and he was like had to pull his car over on the side of the road and stand in front of a field and with an acoustic guitar and start.
He had to buy the guitar, remember?
He had to buy a guitar in a music store to be able to sing this on the side of the road, because he was like, I'm in the middle of Amsterdam. I can't just be like on a cobblestone street in like a European background. He's like, it's supposed to be like a country version, so I got to go drive out to a field. Anyway, so we
so you posted that, and then that went.
And it also went, So we had about like a 3 or 4 month run there where every single thing that we post was doing, bare minimum like 300,000-400,000 views, but some of them were doing like in the 10s to 20s, millions of views. And from that, we took it to radio in Canada. We took it to radio in Australia, to Scandinavia. It just blew up everywhere. It's on the global Spotify global viral top 50. It was top 10 in 7 different markets on Spotify. So it was. But again, that's not one of those things where there was a big button being pushed. It was we just had a concept because
you can't push that in 24 hours. That's
no.
for sure.
So just from some people that we worked with, I had an inside scoop that Beyonce was just about to drop a country record, because I used to work with an artist named Bulo, and I know Nate Ferraro, and I know Lowell, and and the company I used to work for was the publisher for Bulo. So when we had the hold for with the Beyonce record there, Texas Hold'em, I realized that the release was coming. So I was like, okay, well, if Beyonce can go country, then we should take a country artist and take the biggest pop song in the world, which the most streamed pop song ever is Blinding Lights. We should go country with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
this guy's good.
Well, it was like Matt had the idea first. Matt was like, he just has to he has to do like country covers of pop songs. And then he was coming down the list, and it was like, well, Blinding Lights is obviously the most streamed pop song, so that's the one. And I think it was the 4th one that we did. Yeah. And the original video was just Tebe in his living room just singing it acoustically, and it went. So then we recorded like a full-length demo of it. Tebe jumps on a plane to go on a family vacation, and by the time he lands, we have the most viral song on the internet.
Yeah, we had to kind of rush it out. But you know,
Matt flies to Amsterdam to film stuff with Tebe.
But at the root of it is Tebe's great arrangement of the song and his singing, and like, if without that, like, none of it happens.
It's not like Tebe's the first person to ever cover Blinding Lights.
No, but
you have a great artist. You have a great cover of it.
Yeah.
And Matt had a brilliant social strategy around it. And then we just kind of tracked down all the markets that it was going in and started hiring independent teams. Because Tebe also owns his own label. He's not a part of a major. So we had to sit down and figure out how to pull up some funds and put together,
build a team.
So
is he completely independent?
He co-owns a label with a business partner, and it's distributed through The Orchard.
Got you. Mm-hmm. Okay. What about yourself? Are you still with the label?
Still with Wax, yeah.
Still with Wax.
Yeah. And Wax is distributed through Universal and Virgin. And then with Jamie, she's through ADA and Warner. So our day-to-day is working with all three.
All the distributors.
Yeah. Lots of communicating on the daily.
Yeah.
But
it's your strength.
It's my strength. Yeah. It's interesting, right? Like, you can see like just naturally,
absolutely,
right? Like, so someone's got to, like, we're running a business, right? Too. Like, so we have there's so many facets to that. And at the root of it is someone actually running the friggin' business, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I did want to say though, like, in the same way that Tebe nailed his version of that song, like, you put a lot of effort, Shawn. Like, you're talking about how serious like how you take his live show so seriously, warming up, preparing, rehearsing. You're a phenomenal singer, and the band is amazing. Like, I implore anyone who hasn't seen Shawn in the last little bit to go check out a show, because it's really, like, world class. I'm a judgy guy when it comes to, like,
me too,
music and live performance. I really,
it's
super judgy, and it's really, really high quality. So, like, we're lucky to have someone.
No, I can attest to that.
That cares about enough of that much, right? He takes it very seriously.
I saw the first time I ever saw you perform. Well, I guess it wasn't even a full set, but it was a couple of weeks ago at the event.
The industry thing?
The industry. Yeah. At that event, I was like, this motherfucker can go. Look at this guy's stamina. You can sing, got all the moves down pat. The band is incredible. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's a great live show.
You got to come to history, bro.
Yeah.
That's what you got to come to.
Yeah. Can we talk?
Yeah, 100%. It's December 12th at fucking history.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who you said that?
I haven't announced it yet.
Yeah.
Depending when this comes out, maybe they're getting the inside scoop. But we're announcing it on September 9th.
There you go. Okay. All right. So this will come out a little bit before, after that. Yeah. So I have a week. So you're going to have a show at History. Yeah. December 12th.
December 12th. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of 20 shows across the country.
Yeah. That'll be it for a while. That'll be the last home show, last tour. So, like, it's gonna be an emotional but special one. You know what I mean?
How are you guys thinking about? I'm excited for that, and I will be in town for that. So I'm definitely going to come to that show. But how are you guys thinking about the U.S. market, if there is conversation regarding that? Because it's a bit tougher, that one.
So hard.
Yeah, I mean, like, for us, we always try to follow the data. And right now, the primary audience for us is not the United States.
Yeah.
So
It is what it is.
It looks like a loss leader to chase that. So right
Yeah.
now we're going to focus in
Building-
other markets. Yeah,
Yeah.
specifically in Germany right
Yeah.
now.
Whereas for Jamie, it's a little bit the opposite, right? We have some real good markers down there. We have a really good team we're building with a great booking agent, some PR, and label stuff as well. So it's expensive,
Yeah.
but you have to where there's a flame, you must fan it. But it's
100%.
hard to create the flame sometimes.
And I feel like you can't force something to happen. You know,
Mhm.
I've always said I want to go where the people want me to go.
Even
You know?
earlier in your career?
Yeah, even earlier.
Because was it big in the US?
I had a little bit. There was a buzz going on when Honey came out.
Oh,
With
yes.
Jessica Alba, and so I had the song on the
That's right.
soundtrack with
That's right.
Ronnie Jerkins. I did my whole second album with like Tricky Stewart, The Dream.
Gotcha,
before,
gotcha.
it was literally just before Umbrella.
Yes.
Like I had worked with Tricky right before he did Umbrella. He had just done Me Against the Music with Madonna and Britney. So I learned a lot from those guys, and I worked with JQ, who at the time had just wrote Yeah by Usher. So it had just come out. Kerry Hilson. I worked with all these people, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting in the room with people. Ronnie Jerkins, LaShawn Daniels, who was like his right-hand man. So yeah, I'm working with all the best people. So I had a little bit of buzz, but then serious pop off in Germany in like 2006, 2007. So ended up spending a lot of time touring there during that time, doing the club circuit, like massive, bro. Somewhere where, English is a second language. And at the time, it wasn't during the streaming time. So DJs were like downloading songs and like illegally downloading songs. And it just so happened one of them happened to like hit in the clubs. And it was crazy, bro.
Which one?
Spread My Wings, but it was a remix of Spread My Wings. And then after that, Let's Go took off. So I got a deal in Germany. Let's Go was on like MTV, was everything. So that happened. Sexy, the song from Honey, also blew up in Germany. So like here I am touring Germany with like Missy Elliott, doing shows with Black Eyed Peas, massive. And so something recently again just happened there where we had a promoter reach out and like, hey, we want to bring Shawn out to Germany this year. And some were like, really? And so we go, first show we did a couple shows. First one is at like a venue, kind of like a history type thing. No, you were there. It's kind of like big venue. 2,000 people fucking came to watch me.
Hard ticket.
Yeah.
I saw the
I was
video.
the only artist on the bill.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy. And then we just did like an outdoor festival. It was like myself. It was like a throwback. 112. You love 112.
Shay.
Shy. Not Shay. This guy.
Redman.
Redman.
No.
I was like, I love that Redman.
We were working
guy.
out with Redman. I'm like, don't call him Redman, please.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Redman, 112,
I have a
Shy.
hilarious story with Redman, by the way.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
He was at Gov Ball. You're driving the car straight to the stage, and I'm walking to catering, and I'm like, I think that's Redman behind one of those carts. And then I go and I sit down at catering, and they're like, you guys know that Redman's driving the artist to the stage? I'm like, that is Redman.
That's funny.
And literally he has to drive the band and crew for Jesse. And I sit down in front with him, and I'm like, Reggie? He's like, yo, what up, bro? I'm like, why are you driving the carts the artist? Because you're a fucking icon in hip hop and music in general. He's like, it's my boy's festival. I just do it for fun. I was like, that's
a
tight.
real motherfucker right there.
That's so amazing.
Right? He was actually really super fucking nice.
Yeah, he's a
nice guy. Next morning, went down to the gym. We were working out. I went up. I was like, bro, just again, like, thank you. He's like, yeah, bro, we're good.
Yeah.
Because I had
super down to earth.
Because Method Man was just in Toronto, I think, just before I went there. So no, it was super down to earth. Really nice dude, man. So that was really cool. So yeah, we have this thing happening in Germany again. We're going to take advantage of that. We're going to keep hitting that market and just keep going. Body right now is out in South Africa at radio too. So, hoping that it's going to open up that market. So that I go where the music takes me.
Yeah, because Jamie has a big audience out there.
Yeah. So that was one of the great opportunities of working with both of them was we were able to put a pretty big radio campaign behind that record out in South Africa. Jamie's heading there in September for a 7-city tour, doing 3,000 cap rooms. So we're doing a lot of marketing and PR around that. And Body's doing extremely well radio there.
Yeah.
So that's obviously trying to open a door. So we're just really trying to take it one market at a time. And the way that it's just so happens to be working right now with all the artists that we're working with is we're running, like we're a small team, very independent, like, and just tackling each market and building teams for that market one at a time.
Yeah, and paying a lot of attention to our like who we're choosing as strategic partners, and like trying to nurture the relationship in the same way we've already discussed previously. Like we love our person in South Africa. She's awesome. We're gonna keep working with her, not only with Jamie and with Shawn, with Tebe. Like we really want to
for radio,
for radio PR.
Yeah, she used to be the head of Apple Music in South Africa, and then she started her own company.
Okay. Tech's in the city.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Tekla for sure. She's amazing. But that, you see, it's how it's all connected, right?
Totally. I mean, where there's smoke, you try and create a fire, right? And I really do appreciate the idea of not trying to force anything, because I think a lot of artists, especially coming from Canada, that they want to be international superstars and break in the US. And, if there's any lesson that could be learned from this, is that you don't necessarily have to have a career in the US to have a very real and significant.
Hell no. How many artists in the UK don't step outside of the UK and have massive Robbie Williams? Yeah, we know who Robbie Williams is, but he was never a superstar outside of like the UK. Like that's his major. Like he wasn't what he was in the UK. In the US, like he was in the UK.
Maybe in Canada he was. I remember that there's the one record that was massive that he had.
The Rock DJ. I don't want to rock DJ. That was a big one. That might have been a big one.
There's another one where it was like it kind of had like this James Bond look, and it was.
I think it was that one.
Was that one?
I think it was that one.
Yeah. Okay.
But so many artists out there. You go look at. I mean, just for example, just go on Spotify. Look at the top 50 in the UK. You won't know who half those people are.
I mean, you could have a full career in Quebec alone in Canada.
Yeah,
right?
Very much so.
Yeah.
And
yes,
100%.
A lot of artists don't understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, just let's look at you. You know what I mean? Like you have an incredibly successsul career. You have a great touring business right now in Canada.
Yeah.
Like that's important to know.
There's a lot of work in there's a lot of, if you can focus your work, I'll bet on the long burn 10 out of 10 times, right? Like let's build something that lasts. And if it ends up being in one territory and one territory only, so be it. We can still rock it pretty hard in that territory,
So let me ask you this, and then I'm going to ask you this. How do you identify a great artist?
Great question.
Oof.
I mean, like I said previously, go to see them perform live, and that tells you a lot for me. I think it's multifaceted. I think
you still need great music.
You need great music, of course.
Great music, great live.
Yeah.
You can tell when an artist has that, some people just call it star power or whatever, but when you just feel, just from being in a room with them in a conversation, seeing them on stage, you're just kind of drawn in. You feel connection. Well, that's what the audience needs to do in order to become a fan.
Yeah. And even more specifically, like two things I think are, for me, like absolute deal breakers for being a good artist. One is like you have to be super hardworking, like absolutely the hardest working person.
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. If you're not hardworking, we can't work together. And on the muso tip more, time feel, like the way an artist feels music, the way they feel time. Like the best artists in my eyes are artists that innately feel time really well and kind of almost back. I love how it's called time feel, right? It's hard to describe, but easy to feel and hear. Drummers, you often talk about drummers and like how they feel. Truly any great musician that has unbelievable time feel, whether you're a singer, a bass player, keyboard player, whatever, sax player, you have to feel the music in a way that like just fucking destroys people. And most people don't understand or can't articulate why it sounds so good or why they like it, but it's the feeling of music from the inside out, right? And for me, like the absolute best artists have like time feel like for days. Anderson .Paak, amazing example, right? Like Bruno, like Michael, like we can go on, but that's the thing. And like you have it for sure, right? It's that's one way that I think I personally identify it from a kind of nerdy music perspective.
What about from your perspective?
Makes a great artist?
Yeah.
For me, what excites me, what makes great artists for me starts with the music. And then like Steve said, it's live. So I'm not a concert goer guy too much, but there are certain artists that I love to go see. And they're the artists that I feel like are the most impactful. Like Beyonce. Went to go see Beyonce. Incredible. Everything I expected. She is where she is because she's a queen. Like she's incredible. I just went to go see Coldplay. Fucking insane. Starts with the music though, with Coldplay. And then you go and you feel, you hear and you see Chris sing the songs and you're just like, holy fuck, how could you not be enamored and like be so invested in everything? You know what I mean?
And you're holding on to somebody and
you're getting divorced and you're, fuck. And I went to see Usher. Also another incredible artist.
Oh man, that show was incredible. At Scotiabank here?
Yeah. So for me, it starts with the music. Starts with the music, and then I want to see this person live. And if I still feel that way about them after seeing them live, then that's what makes a great artist to me.
Yeah. Chris Brown, I just saw live over here.
Yeah, I heard he was insane too.
Insanity. Yeah.
Those guys feel music, and those women feel music in a way that, like, it's just deep, right? And it's like
very hard to explain.
It's hard to
and
explain.
Also being able. Sorry, I'm going to jump in there.
No problem.
Being able to sustain and being able to continue to make great music.
Yeah.
All of these artists that we're mentioning have been able to do that.
Drake. Look at Drake.
Oh fuck. Can't even, that's unmatched.
Yeah.
Like he is so incredible and is so dialed in to what he does so well and what his fans love about him. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like there's nobody out right now doing what Drake has done and is doing. He's just so fucking dialed in. Like, and I'm not saying that because of everything that's happened. I genuinely feel that way.
Yeah.
It's insane and so smart. And regardless of all the nonsense, all the bullshit he's had to deal with, he's still like, I don't give a fuck. And look at him. He's fucking here. Like, he's still fucking doing it.
Very much so. He's very dialed in, it seems.
So dialed in, bro.
Yeah.
So smart. He's fucking so smart, bro.
Yeah.
So smart.
It's incredible to see that as an artist yourself. You've seen, Drake, The Weeknd. Just saw you did 4 shows at Skydome.
Yeah. Rogers Center, yeah.
Rogers Center, sorry. Skydome for me for
It is Skydome forever.
It's the Skydome.
Yeah.
But, that's another incredible artist. You as an artist.
Tay McRae.
Tay McRae is crushing.
Killer.
Crazy, man.
Jesse.
We have the biggest artists in the world, bro.
Yeah.
Outside of like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Bruno Mars.
We punch well above our weight.
Yeah.
Yes.
I should say you guys punch well above your weight.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
But all those artists that you're mentioning, they also have great sense of melody, right?
Yeah.
I think that's important too.
Melody's king.
Yeah, right? Like,
melody is king. Lyrics are not king. Melody's king.
Melody's king.
That's what I mean.
Everybody can sing a melody. Not everybody speaks English.
Well, that's how second language in Germany connect with with the music, right? Or you 100%. Go to other places in the world, they have no idea what well, now they can look it up, but back in the day, they don't know what Backstreet Boys are singing, what they're talking about. We don't even know. I want it that way. What the fuck does that even mean?
No idea. I still don't know what they want. I still don't know what they want.
Nobody knows what they want. You know what I mean?
They just want it that way.
Yeah, they don't even know what that means.
They don't. They
literally
literally
seen that clip.
Max Martin is fucking the ultimate.
Yeah.
Hands
ultimate
down.
King for melody.
King for melody. King for everything, bro.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's had the most number ones as a producer in the 20th century.
Yeah.
So far. It's insane.
Can I ask, because you worked with Darkchild, Ronnie Jerkins.
Yeah.
Is there any tips that you could, if you remember from back then? Because like, what did you remember? Or even with Tricky, because those are incredible producers as well.
Tricky, really. So I work with Tricky a lot more than I work with Ronnie. I literally work with Tricky for like a month. And he really taught me about like songs and not saving the best parts of songs. Let me explain that. So a lot of producers, what they like to do is like build the song as the song is coming, as the song is playing. So to keep the listener engaged. And Tricky's like, fuck that. Give them the good shit right away. Why are you going to make them wait for the good shit?
Right.
So I really approach things like that where I'm working with producers and they're like, oh, we're going to save this piano line for the last chorus. Why? It's so fucking great. Give it to them right away. Why are we going to make them wait? And like with Tricky, it was all about the song. It was all about the song, was all about the melody and the lyric. And, he really we would keep going in and rewriting until he thought it was perfect, which I really admire. And with Rodney, the one thing I take away is like, he was like, his team was more like on a feeling. It was more on a feeling and like what they felt that, in the moment with the track that he was doing. I never forget with Ronnie though, bro, being in the studio, he literally had a full club rig set up. So he's sitting here producing. I kid you not. He has a box here and a box here. So 2 15s pointing at him, blaring. And you know when they're going through sounds, you see the music like, fa, fa, boom, boom. Literally, I'm just like, and I like music loud. You know me, I like shit. This was fucking unbearable. But he's like, nah, bro. He's like, I don't care. I want to feel what it's going to feel like in the club. I want to be in the club right now. So I want to make sure I'm picking the right snare, the right kick, the right sounds, because I want to feel like I'm in a club and I'm listening to this right now. And it works for him. So I'm like, yo, whatever works, bro.
Wow.
I'm right here with you, bro. Turn it up. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes did the same thing when we were in the studio with.
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe
Busta Rhymes plays that music so loud. And nobody wants to tell Busta, hey, man, he's just a little, you know? So you do. I remember being in the studio just like this, like holding my one ear that was pointed to the speakers, like feeling it.
Yeah. You want to know what something else is crazy? Because you bring up Busta, because I went to go see Missy when she was here in Toronto last year. It was Busta, Sierra, and Missy. And this is why I feel like everybody can have their moment and it's never too late. Do you know Missy has never headlined a tour in her whole career?
That's right.
Except right now.
That's right. Really? Yeah, never.
She's never done an arena tour in her life in the height of her career. This was the first one.
Wow.
We're talking like 30 years before I came out. Missy was putting out records.
Right.
Sock It To Me, I Can't Stand the Rain, like 1 Minute Man, fucking Work It. Like Missy's like, for me, she's up here. She's elite. Missy's elite.
Absolutely. The visuals were incredible.
And so when I heard that, I was like, you know what? It's never too fucking late for anybody, man. Don't ever count yourself out. No. And she sold out Scotiabank, bro. It was wild. It was crazy.
Yeah. I wasn't in town for that show, but it was
such a good show. Such a good show.
Yeah, she's a great performer too, right on stage.
Yeah.
Crazy to think that she's never done arenas.
I know.
Wild. No, that's great, man. That's awesome. Let me ask here, because I asked what makes a great artist. What do you think makes a great manager?
Vision, compassion, empathy, and I feel like the ability to point out or see an opportunity before it is actually there. I think that's super, super important. You know, it's like, leave the music and stuff, leave that to me. These guys do the management thing fucking extremely well. And I'm so lucky to have them in my corner, because they are literally in my corner and they fucking advocate for me in every single way possible that there is on the face of the earth. And I think Steve touched on something too. Honesty. Be honest with each other. Be honest with people you work with. And even if the truth sucks, you have to be honest. I feel like that's so important, because I want to be in business with people that are good people. And I want, when people remember a time that they did business with either of us, I want them to be like, you know what? I really enjoyed working with those guys. Let's try them for this. You know what I mean? Don't ever underestimate the value of relationships, and treat everybody as if they're the most, like they're important.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you never fucking know.
You never know.
Treat everybody the same, as if they're just important as the next guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even the fucking guy who's doing catering, the guys who, ask anybody, I don't care. I put this on my fucking name on my house right now. Ask anybody who's ever dealt with me in my entire life. They're going to say the same thing about me.
Yeah.
That I'm just a fucking cool fucking ass dude.
Yeah.
And I love everybody, and I love people. I love talking to people. I love meeting people. My job is, yes, to be on stage and to sing and to dance and to do all that. But my main job is to make people happy and to make people feel something. And that's the best feeling in the world. And that's what I do. And that's what I love to do.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like a combination of humility, but still swagger.
Yeah.
Right? You know?
Yeah.
I think that goes for us too, right? We're confident in what we're doing and proud of how we're doing it. But, you know, as I said earlier, we want to enjoy our days and enjoy each other and our team, and you know,
or else what's the point?
Yeah, but there's
no point if you're not having fun in this business.
But we want to be killers too, right? You know what I mean? Like it's that's the whole nuance thing, right? I think like quiet confidence is where it's at, you know, and there's no sidestepping the work. Like you just have to fucking work every day, work and work smart And if that feels like you're not working,
Not working hard
man,
enough.
we're winning. Well, no. Not now, Shawn. Yeah. Yeah.
What about for you? What do you think is how do you identify a great manager or the mark of a great manager?
Well, I guess the ability to identify a great artist. Start there.
True.
Yeah.
Because without a great artist, I don't think our skill sets matter much at all, to be honest.
That's a fact.
So it starts with the artist.
Yeah.
And then from that point, like, I think it's about being able to communicate. And yeah, I don't know. I think honestly, I think it's probably hit the nail on the head with that, because at the end of the day, like, you know, the music is incredibly personal, but the other thing is that, like, not everyone's comfortable with money. So it's like talking about how a dollar is made and how a dollar is divided. That also matters a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to make sure that everyone understands where the money is coming from and how it's being allocated and how much you're going home with.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, like, we can have the best time ever and we can have the best music ever, but it's still a business. And if people aren't happy on the financial side of things, it falls apart pretty quick.
Yeah. Are you in those? You have a business manager for that? You guys handle it kind of yourselves?
Yeah, we have we handle it more ourselves. It's a bit case by case basis. Like Shawn has an accountant and business manager.
What do you use?
Jennifer Earl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
and I have an accountant. Like the way that Steve and I have this set up is we operate under one title, but we actually have two separate companies because because we're only 2 years into this and it happens so fast. Literally, like, so Steve has a business manager, I have a business manager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also on paper, it's two separate companies, but
yeah,
to the public, it's okay. Well,
yeah.
I'm sure at some point that's going to get,
of course,
we need to figure it out.
It's kind of at that point where it's got to happen, right?
Yeah.
Because there's so much business coming your guys'
for
way.
sure. I think just because I had this corporation under my previous management company for setup and all into
Steve had too much money.
Yeah. He likes to brag about that a lot.
I heard he likes money.
Yeah.
I heard, that's the mark of a good manager as well, liking money.
Oh, if there's one thing, Steve likes money.
Don't be fooled by my clothes or my car.
His car only opens the passenger door only from the inside.
That's the that's the you're just hiding the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See my car, you're like,
Yeah.
No,
He's got a nice house in the Cayman
That's what I was gonna
Islands.
say. The house in the Caymans. Look at that.
No, I
got a couple of properties in Belize.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love my my accountant and business manager. Awesome guy. We've become very close friends, and he's turning me on to entrepreneurial things outside of within music, but outside of music. Like bridge financing, stuff like that, and So it's just like I love thinking about how to be entrepreneurial and how to
make money.
Make money, and one day not have to work for your money.
Yeah, and just be, I just want to be smart about how, I don't have kids. My fiance is in the music industry. Our life is both set up to work a lot, and I'm incredibly supported by her through the process and vice versa. And we just have goals. But again, the process, even working with my accountant and business manager, his name's Sam Mirage. Love him. It's super fun. Like, he's hilarious. He's like Chad can attest. Like, we're talking to him all the time, and it doesn't feel like we're doing business, but we're doing business. So I think it keeps coming up over and over. Like, I
just don't fully trust somebody who can't look me straight in the eyes.
Yeah, it's true.
He has one lazy eye, so I always bust his fucking chops.
Oh, you bust his chops on the lazy eye.
I actually tell the story. It's actually crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think you grew up in where this is going sideways. Oh my god!
You're saying when you say to him, "Okay, cool. Listen, we got to cross all the T's and dot the." Lowercase J's.
Look at me when I talk to you, goddammit.
Jesus. That's savage.
No, he's the best.
But at least you can take the joke. You gotta know who you can crack a joke with.
Yeah, exactly. He's a joker for sure. Anyway, like he's great, but an important member of the team. And that's part of, obviously, something that you've probably touched on with other guests is how
especially with Dan,
like how the businesses are structured, right?
I
just find it so, like, the whole thing you do, the stuff with Lori, we love that episode. Like, we found it super educational, and like it's just wonderful that people are willing to share how they are, and there's like it's so multifaceted, the ecosystem, right? There's a lot, and she's a great example of like of what we talked about is having vision, executing that vision's like very specifically with their tight group of people, very data driven, like. It's super inspiring to hear people talk in this forum.
I feel very fortunate that I have the relationships to be able to have these conversations.
It's crazy the people you have on. I'm just like, how does he get this person on here?
I call them.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. So these are all people that are in my Rolodex, in my wheelhouse, and a lot of these people have looked out for me, in many ways, and it was.
But kudos to them too for being so fucking generous with their time and being like, hell yeah. Because a lot of them could be like, nah, fuck, bro, I got no time for that shit.
100%.
Like Chris Taylor, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, nah, bro, I can't.
And that with Chris, it was just, I think I just texted him.
Really, eh?
Yeah, I think I'm always, when I see our peers and stuff, I was like, when are we gonna do the pod?
Yeah.
I'm like, let's see what they say when I say that.
100%.
And they're like, whenever you want. I was like, oh fuck, wow, okay. And then I think it was a text with Chris.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I knew that with Chris would be a really interesting one because he's done so many magnificent things in this business. But it even, shocks me when I'm able to get individuals to come in here and tell their story. But I love it because I've always, I say this all the time. I'm like, this is all I talk about. I just talk about the business like to annoying levels. So I'm like, why don't just flip on some cameras and some lights and
100%
do it for the public? Because, I just love to give the value. Right? Like my information is for everyone.
Yeah.
And especially in this time in the business.
Yeah. It's super interesting. Like for example, when Chris was talking about like what he would do differently when he was busy with Drake, and when he talked about what he did wrong with
That's
Last
such
Gang
a real moment.
as it was scaling up, right?
Yeah.
And like Chad and I are talking about this all the time as we're going through this growth phase. Like, how do we grow but still continue to super serve our clients? Like you mentioned that, Chad, that's what you like about us is that like we really do serve you in a way that like we can do as much as we possibly can serve you. We're going to do that. But in order to grow and keep that same philosophy, like something has to give. We have to figure out how to grow. And the way Chris put it, he said, I would have had these people in place while growing, which I didn't have because, so I'm paraphrasing, but he said, I was unable to super serve my clients at the time because I was so busy with Drake over here.
Yeah.
But all my other clients kind of suffered because I didn't have the right people in place. I just thought it was so interesting and something that, Chad and I are discussing in this moment, like how to scale up and when to scale up and how to do it and who we need. And it's just super, like, we're benefiting from it too, I guess, all to say, like what you do.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, to that point, it's because the artist always has to feel the love. And they always have to have that point of communication with you guys, because as much as you could say you have a company that you guys are building that's incredible, and I truly believe that you guys are some of the best, if not the best, in this country. And so I really wanted to have you guys on the podcast because I think you guys maybe have never gotten the flowers publicly, but maybe, you have. But like, I really wanted to demonstrate who you guys are and show the skill sets that you have, because I think you guys are great managers, great business people, but great human beings as well. So it's no shock that you're working with a great human in Shawn Desman. So I think it's super important to highlight that. But it's important that your artists are always connected to you, can reach out to you, can communicate with you. So how do you scale that and bring on other artists and build the business and, label ventures, publish ventures, bridge financing, and figuring out how to bring more capital allocated so you can super serve your artists, right? So it's a really interesting thing that you're figuring out in real time, and how to do that is not easy.
No, definitely not.
No.
Yeah. And life happens alongside of it, right?
Does it ever?
Like not to area, like, but Chad's about to have, and his wife are about to have a baby, and
shit.
like life is happening,
Congrats.
right?
That's awesome.
I'm about to have a baby.
Yeah. No.
I was like, what?
Sean, the truth for you is like Owen's got a soccer game.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Soccer and dance. That's what I do.
I was like, Sean, we have these 10
all day, every day. Can't do it. Owen's got practice. Can't do it. Owen's got a game.
Like, we got 10
because I
gigs
won't miss that shit.
That's sick.
I will not unless it's like I'm away and I have something booked and he so happens to have a game, or
But if you're in
Sienna has a
town,
dance competition.
If you're in town, your family is very important.
It's number one.
It's number one, bro.
Has to be.
Yeah. But it's all part of the communication, right?
100%.
Now listen, really appreciate you guys coming.
No,
on
I
here
appreciate you, bro.
and having
This-
these conversations.
I've been wanting to do that. It's trying to convince Chad to come on here was the.
I think it's when
But I was like, we need to do this.
That's when I had you all three
100%.
together. I was
a
like,
couple weeks ago. Yeah.
I was like, we got.
There's
do
no
this.
way Chad can say no in person.
Oh, he tried.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
for sure tried.
I tried.
I saw it.
Follow-up call.
I saw it on his face.
Yeah.
I definitely saw it on his face because you guys are like, yeah, let's do it. Like, we're in. And the chat's just there, like,
Yeah, yeah.
not saying nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, man, this doesn't happen.
But honestly,
with
bro,
us.
I gotta
Can we
say-
just do a dinner and we'll just chat?
Yeah, yeah.
But even though, like,
Fine.
but
Get the
besides
wine.
all that, I know that you guys have talked and stayed in touch and trying to do things. And so I appreciate you for reaching out and being a supporter of like what I do and what we do. You know
Brother,
what I'm saying?
you've been
Like,
a
I know you
supporter of
wanna
me in
help.
my career for a long time. The last music video I ever produced was your music video, which was thank goodness I retired.
You got out of that. I know that's the worst, bro.
Yeah, it was tough. Yeah. But it was hard to say no to RT.
100%.
He did Shiver, right?
He did Shiver too. Yeah.
I love that video. But
RT's my homie, man. He's so great. I'm so happy about all the stuff he's doing now and all the film
He's
work. and
crushing
he's
it.
Crushing. I
crushing
love
it.
so
He just
much.
had a film come out that's apparently like really good.
Yeah.
You know, so shout
Yeah.
out to RT.
Yeah.
Have you ever done, just on the note of Shiver, actually, I just random thought. Do you ever do that just kind of stripped down?
A little bit in the show, it's kind of stripped down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
we
a
did-
piano or
Yeah.
Does it from the stool?
Does it from the stool?
I mean, we did
The billboard thing you're
Billboard
talking
thing.
about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean's got a wonderful piano keyboard player in his band named Kirk
Yeah.
Grange, and they did a duo show, just the two of them,
Yeah.
with some reimagined kind of arrangements.
Yeah. Just
which-
on the piano
yeah,
and
which
stuff.
is-
It was-
yeah,
it was
Billboard Live
fantastic.
series
I love that
video.
record, man.
Yeah. It's a great record.
Such a great record.
Yeah. It's a great
Yeah,
record.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
it's super fun puzzle to try and figure out. We're
figuring it out in real time, though.
Yeah.
So, you know, only a couple of years away from getting to Scotiabank Arena,
100%.
in my opinion.
I'm putting it out there, Scotiabank.
There you go.
You guys are crushing it, man. Again, thank you so much for doing this podcast, man. This is awesome, and it is a long time coming. And I was just going to say to you, man, you've been supporting my career for a very long time, and I really appreciate
No,
that.
no,
Like
of course, bro.
when individuals like yourself who came before me are showing me love and helping me through my career just by just saying like, yo, you're crushing it.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me because
Mhm.
I looked up to all you guys and I saw everything that you guys did. And I'm so obsessive with this. I like really study the thing. So to have, you know, superstars and icons like Shawn Desman say like, yo, man, keep doing your damn thing. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It is.
It means the world. So thank you for that as well, sir.
Of course, man.
Right
Thank
on.
you guys, man.
Yeah,
I really
you're welcome.
appreciate this. This has been awesome.
Thanks, Ruiz.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Mutual appreciation.
Mutual.